He's a coward morally, and because he's also more concerned, like Obama, with what the world thinks about him. If it's hard for a president of the United States to decide to act to defend Americans, he ought not to be president.
Right, and I also understand he had a shot at him right before he left, and he decided not to take that shot in December.
Well, he certainly had an opportunity to respond, sir, after they almost sunk our naval vessel in Yemen, and he chose not to do that. He's a disgrace, sir.
Michael, I want to dial in somebody who, after 9/11, wound up in Tora Bora and was pretty close at the time. Geraldo Rivera joins us. Geraldo, you got a question for Michael?
Well, I think that my main beef with what Michael is saying is that he is mixing and conflating intelligence and what he witnessed with his own ideological spin. So what you have here with this gentleman who was dismissed from CBS by his own admission is, number one, an analysis on the military action, and then number two, he is spinning it to his own purposes.
Michael, is that what you're doing?
Bill Clinton is a horrible man, a coward, and all the rest of it.
Michael, is that what you're doing?
That's why, in my view, he is
Listen,
impeaching his own credibility.
Geraldo is a magazine guy. That's fine.
I
know the intelligence.
One at a time. Michael, you first. Michael, you respond.
I know the intelligence. I know the people who risk their lives to get the information. And I know that Geraldo knows nothing except what he thinks. He doesn't know the facts at all. The fact is,
sir, was
that
in Khartoum in Sudan when Bill Clinton tried to take out Osama bin Laden and bombed his house. I stood on Osama bin Laden's property in Khartoum in Sudan. So to suggest that Bill Clinton is a coward or a liar, you are being disrespectful and you are conflating your role as an analyst with experience with an ideological spinner. And that is not your role.
Sudan, dummy.
You are mixing
Osama bin Laden was in Afghanistan.
Opinions about this man with your experience.
Michael, what I have an opinion about is dead Americans.
Have you ever been in Canada or Afghanistan?
All right. I think we're drifting away from what we started to talk to. Michael Scheuer, who headed up the bin Laden unit there for a number of years, we thank you very much for joining us live.
We do.
All right.
Thank you. So, I mean, look, this new sound coming out stirs a lot of emotion from anyone who has any opinion or information on 9/11 and the attacks that, as we're hearing now, seem to have many opportunities to be prevented.
There is no doubt, Elizabeth, that the trauma that we suffered on 9/11, 2001, damaged and took so many American lives that it generates amazing and deep and profound emotions. There's no doubt about that. But the president, it's so easy in hindsight. That was such an extraordinary event, the attack, 2 aircraft, 4 aircraft hijacked, that we are still traumatized by it, and we look back and say, what could we have done to prevent it? And I think in this particular case, finding the contemporaneous tape, finding the contemporaneous tape and Bill Clinton saying that he could have and chose not to, that is lamentable in so many different ways. We could have saved so many lives, but to Monday morning quarterback it, I think, is disrespectful.
But he's different than Monday morning quarterback. He's the one who put the asset behind. He was heading the bin Laden unit. He put the asset in that house, and he knew he had a shot at it. And it just drives Michael crazy, I imagine.
It drives us all crazy.
Wait, let me just finish. To see the president spin his way out of it when he said the guy was in the house, you could have just killed the people in that house, not 300 people. It was not a small town. It's a town of 400,000 people. So for a guy that spent 10 years of his life hunting bin Laden, to hear the president mischaracterize that incident.